It is Monday, March 9th. It is time to get in the weeds. Do not adjust your YouTube, or do. I don't know, depending on what your audio visual settings are. Joel might yell at you, but Joel is not here today. It is Monday, and SP3 is here on this Monday. Joel is complaining about, I think, a back injury or something. I carry this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I have no idea why his back is hurt at this point, but running from the grind, as usual, two-show Joel this week for everybody. But fortunately, we are blessed to be joined by SP3, who is here every Tuesday and Thursday, and is now here on a Monday because he can only bury WWE so often where you just want to keep doing it. It never gets old, really, to bury SP3. How you doing, buddy? Or to bury WWE with SP3. Sorry, I can't speak.
You buried me
doing,
too.
Buddy? WWE's burying you with their booking. They're like, yeah, forget this guy and his fandom.
Excuse me while I do something real quick.
Oh, are you gonna ban Zeno Hour already?
Yep,
Oh,
I put him on
gosh.
timeout. Put him on timeout. Put him on timeout right off the bat. Right off the bat. Right off the bat. Right off the bat. I didn't come on my day off to get disrespected. I'm sorry. Get out of here. Take your time out like a man. And shut up and stop your bad takes. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's a great Monday morning. I'm happy to see most of you, 99.9% of you, because these only amounts to 0.000000000000000000000000 1%.
You're so mean to Zeno Hour.
We got a lot to discuss today. We don't have no time for the nonsense.
Yeah, we do have a lot to talk about. Before we get into anything that we have to talk about, everybody leave a thumbs up on the video. Let's see if we can get some WrestleMania fireworks going. There we go. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Leave us a super chat. Get your question, comment. So, for those that don't understand why I'm laughing there in the middle of my plugs, Zeno Hour got on his secondary account, which it's not hidden very well that it is not him because it is Zeno Hour Gaming, and he left a comment in the chat, and he was immediately put on timeout again by SP3.
Just wait the 5 minutes, man. You don't have to go on another account.
Now he's got to wait 5 minutes on that account.
He's quite obvious to point out. You know, it's not just the name; it's the nonsense he says as well.
Leave a thumbs up on the video. Leave a super chat. Get your question, comment, statement read on the air. Subscribe to the channel. All of that fun stuff. Do not buy a bunch of bots to leave a thumbs down on the video. That is very mean and very disrespectful. And look, if you do not leave a thumbs up on the video, hold on, as I knock my microphone. If you don't leave a thumbs up on the video, you're going to anger the penguin if you don't leave a thumbs up on the video. No. You do not want to anger the penguin by not leaving a thumbs up on the video, okay? So look how cute this little thing is. Okay, everyone leave a thumbs up and be nice to Penguin, and just leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Say how cute Penguin is.
If you leave enough super chats, I will eat this 2-day-old cake from Harlem and Sydney's birthday.
2-day-old?
My missus wants me to eat it because she doesn't want Harlem to eat it because Harlem wants to eat all the birthday cake.
So you can throw it away.
I know I can, but I thought she would have done that instead of giving it to me. Like literally right after I ate breakfast too. I was like, I'm not hungry. She was like, you're not going to eat the cake. So I said I would wait for the show and I would say send enough super chats and I will eat the cake on here.
2-day-old cake.
Yeah.
I remember when I had the 2-day-old cake. We threw that in my face. I didn't eat it. That's the cake we threw we threw into my face that my lovely wife just launched right at me. Great shot by her.
I'm way too pretty for that.
Wow. Shots at me, I feel like there.
No.
Okay, you say, no, that feels like a shot.
I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about myself.
But that feels like a shot at me, saying like you're not pretty enough to.
No, you're pretty too. I don't know why you would do that.
Well, SP3, I think you have great muscles. You know, I really you have very nice arms, very nice legs, very nice abs. You know, I really admire you working out. And
I really like your face muscles. You have a nice jawline. You have nice eyes, pretty eyelashes. But you know, I think your face is more for show. My face is for survival. So like, if I don't have this face, I don't know if I'm gonna survive. So I'm that. I can't say any curse words. We're too early. Are we too early? Yeah, I'm that bastard. No, it's past 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's
past 5 minutes. It's past 5 minutes though. So.
I'm doing no cursing today. That's my rule. I'm gonna be on my best behavior today. Yeah, there might be people watching that I gotta not get too out of control like I typically am on this show. By the way, I wanted to show this great picture Harlem took. She said, Dada, act like you're jumping on me. And she took the picture mid motion. Is this
one of my best photos?
Is this like the Lola Vice photo? When she weren't, did you see that? You see like the first person camera when she jumped onto whoever that was? I forgot who it was, but that's what that looks like.
Yeah, it's awesome. She's really good at photography.
Yeah, that's very good. It's very good. No cursing for me today, everybody. If I curse, you guys can yell at me in the chat. You can put me on timeout if I curse. I'm doing a no cursing Monday out here. Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see how I do. I feel like I can do it. I typically don't. Luca Crucifino. Thank you, Alexa Bliss Gamer. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't positive, so I didn't want to say it and get the wrong name. I feel like I can do it, not cursing, but we're gonna be on my best behavior today. No inappropriateness. I got too many people watching me today. You saw the Penguin is watching me. Who else? I had a lot of just animals in my bed last night.
I see that.
Yeah, this is Purple Bear. Purple Bear is watching me as well. So a lot of just I'm being watched by, got a lot of kids, and the kids they're making sure I'm on my best behavior today. So I gotta be on my best behavior. That's what I gotta do.
Fair.
Do you want to start with WWE? You want to just get that out of the way?
Isn't WWE like the thumbnail? So shouldn't we wait till middle of the show to talk about it if we want to get depressed and talk about fan apathy and death?
Fair. C. Delgado says, went to GCW Friday. Nice.
Sweet.
A lot of top people weren't there, but still a fun show with lots of quality work. Support indie wrestling. Yeah, I didn't watch the Friday show. I watched the Saturday show. That was when Mance returned. Mance and DeLander returned for the main event. Joey, I forgot who Joey faced, but then he cut a promo on Brody Lee Jr., calling him out since they're wrestling at spring break. And the Saturday show was in Columbus. I was talking to Mose about possibly going to that show. Obviously, I didn't, but I was close to potentially going. It was just a busy weekend. I unfortunately wasn't able to make it out there. But I watched the Saturday GCW show. You went to Eve, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I watched Stat and Dakota / Charlie. I watched Shiri and Windsor, and I watched Harley and Amira just perform. The match was only like 4 minutes, but I watched the performance.
It's awesome. Amira got upset because she didn't realize that cage match doesn't let people rate matches under 5 minutes. she wanted to get a cage match rating for that matchup, and she couldn't even get it done. Oh man, it was one of my favorite shows that I've been to live, and I agree with what C Delgado was saying in the chat. Like, support indie wrestling, and I usually go to a lot of like wrestling events for free, but this one I actually paid for. Thankfully, I know Sat Iniyengi, who can get you anywhere, and he got me into the VIP section. So my short self. See, I'm cursing up a storm. I'm making.
You did good catching yourself. You're good.
Yeah. My short self was on the floor in the standing room, so I couldn't see the ring for like the first for the sudden death 16. But then Sat got me up into the VIP section, me and his brother-in-law, and yeah, it was a great time. Got to see it with a couple of my friends. Sat was there, Tempest was there.
Nice.
I got to see the fellas from Woke Culture. Got to chop it up with Andy H. Murray, one of my favorite people from wrestling media and Twitter world. My first time actually meeting him in person. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, the show was great. It was like I just put out a tweet that it was a very like well-balanced show where you had a little bit of everything going on. You had some like comedy wrestling with the Harley and Amira's whole performance with the dancing naked boys was hilarious, and then them singing together at the end was some great stuff, some great payoff to everything. You had some good tag team wrestling. They had a 4-way number one contenders matchup with some ladies that I didn't know of before, but I love going to like UK indie events. Is just so much fun with the different chants that they do. Like for Danny Moe, they was like, "Hey ho, let's mow." I was like, I love it. I love UK indie crowd.
Yeah.
And then also my favorite one was Mo Mo Mo. How do you like it? How do you like it? Mo Mo Mo. And Sad's brother-in-law has never been to a wrestling event, so that was a lot of fun, like hearing his perspective of stuff. Like, he was just fascinated by different people, and he was like getting excited for different stuff. So it's always fun to kind of live through the wrestling events through like people that are like novice or not been to a wrestling event before. But yeah, just had a lot of fun. The Shuri and Alex Windsor matchup was excellent. Excellent matchup with the surprise finish, because I sat next to Tempest for that matchup, and me and Tempest both was just like, what just happened? Like, did Alex Windsor just beat Shuri, just become the strong women's champion? Yeah, I love those type of moments where we were talking about it after the show. Like, me and Tempest were like, it's so great when you get like those genuine surprise title changes that you didn't see coming, and to be there live and experience like the crowd reaction to everybody else is so much fun. So great to see stuff like that. Seeing Willow Nightingale live and up close was a lot of fun with Nina Samuels. That was a good matchup on the show. I think this was my first time seeing Azumi live as well, and she faced Sapphire Reed, which everybody, including myself, was just like, Sapphire Reed's gonna get signed. She's one of like the really underrated women's wrestlers on the UK scene, that she just has everything it takes to be like a signing for AEW or potentially be in the Performance Center in NXT. I said myself, she kind of fits more for NXT, where I could see her coming up over there and then making her way to the main roster in like a few years. So she's got a lot of talent. That was a lot of fun. The Sudden Death 16 is kind of like a mini Royal Rumble meets the Casino Gauntlet. That was a lot of fun, and seeing Jamie Hayter and Mia Yamashita go at it after their great matchup on Friday. I still have to go out of my way to watch that Friday show, but I heard a lot of great things about that show, and then they continued their rivalry in the Sudden Death 16 as well. And seeing Nyla Rose make her return, that was a lot of fun. I didn't expect to see Nyla on the show, so it was great to see her there.
Nyla's been in Eve more than AEW.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true. I had a nice actually experience with speaking of Harley Cameron. As I was walking, I walked to get a drink because all the drinks I think were like downstairs. Well, I thought they were downstairs. It was actually a bar by the VIP section. But I was going downstairs and I ran into Harley Cameron, and she was trying to go to the balcony to watch one of the matches. So I went by her and she was like, "Oh, where's the balcony?" So I pointed her in the right direction, and then security tried to stop her. And I was like, "She's part of the show. She's one of the wrestlers." She's like, "Yeah, I'm part of the show." And then they let her go. She was like, "Oh, thank you so much." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I just vouched for Harley Cameron to get into VIP. That's my claim to fame now." So
how do they not know?
I don't know. I don't know. I was like, how do you? That's what I was telling Sad. I was like, how do you see Harley Cameron and not realize that she is probably part of the show? But no,
was this before? I assume this was after.
This was after her matchup.
Okay, so how were they not like paying attention? Be like, oh yeah, I saw you earlier in the ring wrestling and performing. Like, what are we doing?
I will give them credit. I'll give the security a pass because they are sitting where they don't have like a screen or anything. They're not out there at the show. They're like inside to like stop people or see if people have wristbands to get into the VIP section. So I'll give them the pass on that. But I was just like, look at her, like. Yeah, she's definitely part of the show here. But that was a lot of fun interacting with her. Got to see. Oh yeah, the Stat versus Charlie matchup. Oh, me and Stat were so happy because we were just like, this is her like really making sure that she gets signed. She's gonna get signed again because she still is at top form and had a great match with Statlander. Statlander having to hit 2 Saturday Night Fevers as well as 2 tombstones all in a row. So 4 tombstones in a row to beat her, really put her over. But she was so great. She hasn't missed a beat at all. And I said it on Twitter. I'll say it here. Those Hunter fumble chants sent me. I was like, I feel vindicated. I'm around my people. I was like, I've been saying Hunter fumbled way longer than everybody else, but yes, definitely in this case, it's definitely true. He did fumble with Charlie here, but Charlie made a statement, had a great performance in that matchup. The tag team matchup was a lot of fun with Lali finally coming together. Lana Austin finally meeting Ali as her best friend. That was like a nice little payoff for their story, which I kind of saw started like last year when I was watching Progress, when I went to a Progress live event and I got to see how their whole dynamic started there, and then see the payoff with her finally admitting that that's her best friend after they retain the tag team championships. And then the main event, man, I'd say everybody, like, if you're here, if you like wrestling for great storytelling, the main event was where it was at, honestly, because the video package was superb, telling the story of Session Moth Martina not like winning in Eve. She hadn't won in like over a year, and she was thinking of like quitting completely. And then Millie McKenzie, her best friend, coming out, and she's injured. She was out. She didn't know if she was going to wrestle again, and she basically inspired Session Moth to return to the ring, to keep fighting, to keep wrestling. And then her winning the She Won to become the Ace of Eve and earn the title shot at Wrestle Queendom. And then the great promo work with her and Rio, and how they built up Rio to be like this monster heel who's the world champion for the longest time, world champion in multiple promotions in the UK. And Rio is so good. That was another person that everybody was raving about and saying like, she's next up. She needs to be signed. It's quite surprising she hasn't been signed already. She was a part of that UK tryout for the WWE last year. I saw her as an extra at the O2 last year for Monday Night Raw in March. So I'm quite surprised she's not with the likes of Zosiah and Mike D as far as like the new signings that are on the live events ahead of going to NXT, because she's ready to go. She's so good. She has aura in like abundance. She had a whole rap performance for her entrance, but there is nothing like that Session Moth. That Session Moth, every time I touch, I get this feeling. That entrance was so awesome. Like, me and Sat were doing the Alex Wright dance to it, and We had people like rolling when we was doing it on sequence and everything. We were dancing to it, and then she winning, and then the way they planned that whole match out, where it was like sports entertainment spectacle to a T. Like you get Session Moth getting busted open early on in the matchup, and her trying to fight from underneath, and just when she's making her comeback, all the rest of the Eve heels come out and jump her and beat her down, and then the whole Eve babyface hero squad comes out. It's like Avengers for Eve. It was like a WrestleMania 40 or All in Texas all over again, where all the babyface are fighting about, including Millie McKenzie getting physical for the first time since her injury, her coming out, making the save and fighting off the heels. So it's down to Session Moth and Rio, and then Session Moth winning the Eve championship, getting the new title, the celebration. I was just like, man, this is just a great ending. This is women's wrestling at its finest, where you get like technical wrestling with like the Shuri and the Windsor, and a very like physical high impact matchup with Charlie and Stad. You get more fast paced, high speed action with Rio and Sapphire Reed. You get kind of abundance of different characters and rivalries and storylines. In the sudden death 16, you get some good tag team action, and then you get this bombastic kind of spectacle show in the main event. This show had it all. Like, I suggest everybody go out of your way to watch it. Eve, Wrestle Queendom, one of my favorite shows of the year so far.
I saw highlights from the Session Moth and the Rio match. I haven't watched the full thing yet. I got to go back and watch that. So the only two matches I saw in full were, as I mentioned, Sherry and Windsor, and Dakota and Statlander. And yeah, Dakota hasn't missed a beat. Like, she's always been really good, and unfortunately, like, injuries kind of got in the way of a lot of her stuff, and I just don't think they trusted her after that, which is their mistake, honestly. Like, just put her out there, let her go. I was surprised at, honestly, how good she was with being off for so long.
Yeah,
because she hasn't wrestled since like May, I think, of last year.
I think you got to say like April, because I was talking to Sad about it, because she got released like the first week of May, so it's probably been since like April that she really had like a matchup on WWE programming, and she didn't do any indies, nothing beforehand, and just coming out like cold turkey after nearly a year and putting on that great of a matchup. Like, I was really impressed.
We're actually both wrong. It was March since her last match.
It's been a year. It's
almost a year. It was end of March. She did 5 minutes against Ivy Nile on main event. That was her last match. That was March 24th. That was her last match before yesterday. Now, fortunately, she wasn't dealing with any injuries during this time, so it wasn't a case of, she's been off and she hasn't even been able to like get in the ring to wrestle or do anything, and she's been rehabbing and stuff. Like, I'm sure she's trained and just like done some sessions and stuff, so it's obviously easier to come back from just a 1 year sort of mental and even physical break than coming back from a 1 year, you're coming off a torn ACL, or you're coming off a major shoulder injury or a major neck injury. Like, it's much more difficult to come back from something like that than it is to come back from probably a much needed break, honestly. But no, this match, right in my wheelhouse, the 12 to 18 minutes there, I was like, so perfect. Don't overstay your welcome. You don't need to go 25 minutes and do a bunch of stuff. Just 12 minutes, especially because from what I saw of the main event, that was a longer match. There was a lot going on. Yeah, there was a lot going on in that match. So you didn't need the match before that to be something of like, hey, we're also going to go 25 minutes and do a bunch of stuff. So I appreciate a good layout like that, because too often it is the opposite way of, we're going to do 25 minutes co-main event and we're going to do all of our stuff, and then follow it up with a 30-minute main event where we're going to do a bunch of stuff as well. And I think you can, like, AEW does that. They can get away with it. They're the second promotion. New Japan will do that. They can get away with it. Biggest promotion in Japan. I think Indies got to realize you don't need to do that so often. And so I am glad that they did not do that. I love the Shiri and Alex Windsor match as well. Like you mentioned,
that was probably my match of the night. That matchup was so good.
Yeah, I did like that better than Stat and Charlie. It was close, but I man, I like the hard hitting strikes so much, and they just pounded on each
Yes.
other with some of those strikes.
Being live for it, like you can feel the strikes, the kicks, and hear the echo as it goes across the arena. Like Shuri is so one of the best in the business today. Like as far as like strike and her precision in the ring, her submission work is so good. Her doing like the Kimura hoverboard lock from the top and then going right into the Kimura. She's just so smooth in the ring. But Alex Windsor might be one of the most like underrated female wrestlers in the game today. Like I know she's got a lot of like flag of like getting signed to AEW after Ospreay, but it has everything to do with how talented she is. She's been kind of like overlooked a lot of her career, but I'm glad she's getting this spotlight, winning the RevPro Undisputed British Women's Championship, and then winning the Strong Women's Championship. Is really putting her on a higher level, and then everything she's doing in AEW with the Brawling Birds. I'm so happy for her. She's really talented. Oh, is Jeremy frozen? Yeah, I think Jeremy's frozen.
Yeah, that was me.
I also went to the after party for it, and just seeing the camaraderie of the whole Eve roster. Like they were still celebrating Session Ball. They played her theme music. They played her theme music. Well, you know, I'm not saying who. I'm not saying the heels. I didn't say the heels were partying with them, but seeing the camaraderie of the roster was a lot of fun as well. Seeing that perspective, I got to chop it up with one of the producers for Eve, who was actually Michael Oku. No, Michael Oku. Okay. I got to finally meet Ospreay, and he said some words to me that I very much appreciate. I actually sent him a message this morning to be like, that really meant a lot to me.
Tell him to come on the show. Like, hey, come join us. We're talking about the show. We're praising it. You know, come pop on.
Come pop on. Come talk about
Tony's
it.
a fan of the show. Be like, hey, Tony loves the show. You know, he loves and respects what we do. He'll more than welcome you on here.
Come on, Will. But yeah, no, he said some words that really meant a lot to me. But so did Michael, because I like Sat's friends with him because they got to do some stuff for Wrestle Talk. So he introduced me to Michael, and he's like, I know your face. He was like, I feel like we've met before. And Sat's like, because first I'm like, my name's Sid, and Sat's like, no, that's SP3. He's the one that writes for Sports Illustrated. He's the reason why Becky Lynch does those promos. He was like, Michael Oku was like, oh, it's your fault. And then we got to chop it up, man. I want the world for that guy. That guy is so genuine, such a great guy. And we would like ask him, it was like, what matches did you produce? He was like, which matches did you like?
I respect that.
Awesome dude. That's another dude that I was like, yeah, he needs to be side, but I understand his perspective. Like he was telling me like his whole mindset when it comes to that and trying to like really bolster up UK independent scene. It's so great, like his whole view of the wrestling game and how he's going about it. He got a good head on his shoulders, and I want the world for him. I'm so happy that I was able to talk to him yesterday.
I have one criticism of the Statlander and Dakota Charlie match. Everyone knows I got to nitpick something. The backstabber on the apron is the dumbest spot in the world.
Because you're hurting your back too.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt your opponent anymore. Like it's like a sharpshooter on the table. How does this hurt? What's
elevated.
The big deal?
You're elevated.
You're not though. The ring is elevated. You're not elevated. The backstabber on the apron. Look, bless Dakota. She's like, yeah, screw it. I'm gonna go out here and do this move, and it's gonna look really cool. Like it looks cool. I'll give her that. But logically, it makes absolutely no sense because you're slamming your. I don't like the move. Like anyway, it's kind of like you're sort of hurting yourself because you're taking a flat back bump. So it's whatever. But your goal should not be to take those bumps, And I know you're driving their back into your knees and stuff. I like when Mercedes does it because then she'll transition into the bank statement and like that's a cool way to go into the next move. But it's just like doing it as its own move is kind of weird, but I can understand it. Doing it on the apron though literally makes no sense. Like it would make no sense because the apron, as we've been told, is the hardest part of the ring. Right? Yeah. So if you're doing
I don't know if you've been told that before. Yeah.
If you're doing it in the middle of the ring, like okay, you're getting some bounce there. So as you drive your opponent, they're back into your knees, you're going down and you're creating that pressure on them with the shock way. But if you're doing it on the hardest part of the ring, you are compressing yourself because there's no give on the hardest part of the ring. It'd be like doing this move through a table and you're just driving yourself through a table. Like it's stupid to me. Makes no sense.
I was just so happy that she busted out the chiropractor.
Oh yeah.
She busted that out. I popped. I was like, let's go. I was like, she's back. She's back, baby. She's hitting the chiropractor. Sat got excited for the circle round kick, the go kick. I was like, oh man, she's busting out. When she busted out belly to belly, because Sat was like, the belly to belly. I was like, no, that's the belly to belly.
Yeah, she had the arm trap. That was the belly to belly. Yep. Yeah. I did like that as well. But yeah, otherwise I love the match. I saw that friggin' the backstabber on the apron. And I'm like, bless you, Dakota, for doing this. At the same time, this move's stupid. Makes no sense.
Triggered. But yeah, Wrestle Queendom.
Knocking it down to 5 stars instead of 5.5 now.
5 stars. No, he's like, it doesn't get 5. 4 3/4 because they did that.
4 9/10 is what I'm going with.
Very well said. But yeah, great. Queendom was my favorite show of the weekend, but there was a lot of great shows this weekend. Were you able to watch any from the CMLL?
Well, real quickly, Vala did say, "How was Eve? It was fun. It was fun to watch at home too. Happy to have the clocks wind forward for the U.S. again. ITW commute viewing is back. This whole clocks winding forward is throwing me off so much. Like I hate it. I don't understand it. It's so dumb that we do this."
I didn't realize until I think it was Saturday evening that I had to get my schedule changed for my writing gig, because I'm like, I just fit the regular schedule that I usually have, but then I realized that I have to do everything an hour up on Tuesday and Thursday to be here in time for in the week.
It trips me out because the rest of the world doesn't do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have people that don't work or that work here. Everyone can see my lovely wife blending into the background. Because we have people that not everybody works in the U.S. and so yeah, everyone is starting an hour later than they typically are because their clocks have not. Oh no!
Uh-oh. Did he freeze again? Too many people in the room.
Okay.
There you go.
Back. Yeah. So we have people on our team that not everyone works in the US. So we have people starting an hour later that, because their clocks doesn't move. So if they're supposed to start at 8, they started yesterday at 9. And they're like, oh, well, our clocks are the same, so we're starting the same as our normal time. And no, I get it. I'm not gonna hold you to our stupid how we do things around here. But it throws me off because I woke up yesterday and it's 11, and usually it's only 10. That hour difference. I feel 10 to 11 is an underrated hour difference that people you don't think about until you actually have to do it. But then nothing changes otherwise. Events still start at 1 and stuff, even though the hour has moved. It's but now we've lost an hour. It's dumb. I hate it. I absolutely hate it about the clocks changing, spring forward, fall back, whatever. That's what it is, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's...
Don't worry, everything will be balanced out for us in the UK, I think, either this week or next week. I'm not sure. I gotta figure it out. But yeah, I'll be back to 5 hours ahead, so I don't have to wake up earlier on Tuesdays and Thursdays to to balance out my work schedule. But yeah.
I don't like the whole spring forward fallback stuff. CML. Oh, I watched Mercedes Persephone. That was all I was able to catch of CML. And I saw highlights. I did not see the full thing, but I saw highlights of Megan Bayne, and she looked awesome. And she looked fantastic.
Dude, that Megan Bayne versus Olympia match, like, there's no doubt. Mercedes and Persephone, that was the best match on the show. That got my best match of the week on True Hill Heat on Saturday because I love that matchup. But man, not enough people are talking about Megan Bayne versus Olympia. You want a certified hoss fight to as Big E would say, two big meaty men slapping me. No, these were two beefy women slapping the beef. They were slapping the beef and they were beating the. Okay. Not in that way. But no, they were beating the crap out of each other. They were lifting each other, deadlifting like this. Oh my god, that was awesome matchup. I was very impressed with Olympia freaking doing a gorilla press and pressing freaking Bayne into the front row. I was just like, yo, they are going all out. They know that they have to like set the bar for what Mercedes and Persephone was going to do because of how invested the crowd was going to be into that matchup. But they went out there, beat the crap out of each other, had a great matchup on the show. Also, Mina Shirakawa probably back to back her best two performances in the ring in a long time. Like, I've always been a big fan of Mina Shirakawa. I saw the improvement from when she started in Stardom to when she won the Wonder of Stardom championship, and just seeing that growth in her. But like, you know, in AEW, she's kind of have to take like a secondary role to Timeless Toni Storm a lot of times, and hasn't had those like big standout performances. But I thought she had a hell of a matchup with Zezousis on the CMLL show, and then had another good matchup with Tony against Megan Bayne and Lena Cross on Collision, but we'll get into that. But she had a good matchup on this show. But yeah, the Persephone and Mercedes, man,
Mercedes was so in her element.
She was such a great heel.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, bell rings, she puts on the lucha mask. Lucha. I was like, she knows what she's at. Yeah. She knows because they are fully invested because of that last match in October, which I don't know. Like, I've seen some people say that match was better, this match was better. I think that this match was just as great as the match back in October. The match back in October probably had more crowd investment, but the crowd was fully engaged, and Mercedes got so much heat, just trolled the crowd, taunted the crowd to the point I think it was Persephone's family in the front row that throw the water at her, because I saw a lot of people confused about that, but that's a reference to the match back in October, because Mercedes throws water on her sister back in October, and then here she gets the water thrown back at her. So it's such good stuff throughout this whole matchup. And Persephone, man, she is amazing. Such a great underdog babyface. And she's only 24 years old. Like, her career is just getting started. There's not a lot of people that can sell the arm as sublime as she was selling it throughout the matchup. Had the arm like this every time she was hitting a move, doing the kip up, had the arm at her side, selling it throughout that babyface fire in her comeback. And just Mercedes just made the perfect foil for her. And it's just, man, whenever Mercedes in there with someone that can just throw her around and has the power advantage over her, has the size advantage over her, it just feels like she's in her element. She had like some of the best matches for Nia Jax back in like the late 2010s when Nia first came to the main roster. We've seen what she could do with someone like a Bayley, who's a little bit taller than her and has the power advantage over her as well, with Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale in AEW, and to a lesser extent Toni Storm, because Toni Storm has the power advantage but not really the size advantage. But with Persephone, she just put out one of Persephone's best matches of her career. And Mercedes, man, I don't care what anybody say. All these Mercedes haters are eating a lot of crow over this weekend, but she put on a very virtuosa performance on Friday night and dropped the CMLL Women's World Championship to Persephone. And that pop when she won the title, I was like, some people wait their whole career to hear a pop like that. This Persephone's getting it at 24, man. She's head of the game.
You know, Mercedes loves wrestling the women who were just bigger than her as well, because she bumps like a mad woman. Like, one thing you will never criticize Mercedes for is the way she just bumps for people. And she makes it look so good and so devastating, like everything. And so, yeah, when you got someone who has the power advantage, who is bigger than her, which is the majority of women, honestly. Mercedes is kind of smaller and thinner than to get a lot of women. So but especially, you know, the women who are presented more as like the powerhouses, like she's always going to make them look so good. And because they are bigger women, like they can base more for her. And, you know, she loves doing so it's more of the aerial stuff and more of sort of the lucha stuff that she has mixed in to her repertoire as well. And so if they're able to base off of that, she looks better off of that as well. So she, like, you know, if she ever, people want her aligned with Megan Bayne, which fairs. But you know, if she ever wrestles Megan Bayne, it might be the greatest match of all time.
Yo, for real. Because Megan Bayne, man, like I said, she's coming into form. Like, she just gets better and better. Like, I know some people wanted her to win the AEW Women's World Championship last year when she was first getting built up, but I think she's even better now. So I saw Greater Than Harrelson that eventual Monet AEW World Title reign will hit like crack. Megan Bayne's eventual AEW Women's World Title win will hit like crack as well, because she just gets better and better. And her being in Mercedes' corner, I was just like, should have been her, not Camille. It probably would have worked out better. Could have had a longer term story as well, with her eventually like getting out of the shadow of Mercedes, being the babyface to Mercedes. Oh man, that would have been. And I said this way before Camille debuted. I was like, give Mercedes a heater. And I was like, Megan Bayne should be the heater for her. And they went with Camille, and to each his own.
Yeah. That's fair. Old nudie. Yeah. She's gotten thicker in a good way, but she's still like smaller and still bumps around like crazy. Yeah. She's not like she was. Yeah, Sasha Banks when she was Sasha Banks, she was very thin. Like that's why I love those Charlotte matches, is because Charlotte was, you know, taller, bigger, more muscular, and she just throw Sasha around so much.
Another person that she would have great matches with.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, this rules, because again, Mercedes she bumps her tail off out there, and that's why she is the best when it comes to this. Remember with the thickometer, I feel weird like talking about that. Like, I think everyone understands what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be like disrespectful when it comes to that, but just like talking in that way, like I feel weird about it.
I understand.
That's why I like what Willow is. Willow, her weight is like just enough. Is like, you know, just enough.
Yeah. When
like,
she comes out,
I respect that.
Weighing just the right amount.
Yeah, just the right amount. Yeah.
And yeah, me and Sad also did the Willow kick. Oh shoot, I kicked my freaking desk.
Are you good?
I was trying to mimic it, and then I actually did it.
You mimicked it. We heard it. That's for sure.
I'm okay.
Are you sure?
I think I'm okay.
Was that a broken foot?
No, no, probably more like my ankle. My ankle hit the desk.
That's not good either. We're gonna put you with Chelsea and Jordan with your ankle out here. Jeez.
I'm okay. I swear.
Okay. Okay. Do we need to? Are you good? That was so loud. It was so loud. It's crashing through there. Jeez. Yeah, that sound to Willow's entrance. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. People saying give him Chelsea's boot. Yeah, Chelsea and Jordan, you be the ankle sisters with them.
I'll sell it too. I'll be in the wheelchair.
Best wishes to Jordan Grace, who did twist her ankle over the weekend on Friday. So hopefully she's okay, and she doesn't miss too much time. No, we shall see. But like Jordan's always very fun. Jordan's always she's very good in the ring, and her and Chelsea being out, like that SmackDown women's division's already pretty, and now you're losing two people who, like, Chelsea's still on television at least. I don't know if Jordan's gonna stay on television with an ankle injury, but you're losing the person who's literally just coming off of challenging for the championship. So it's a rough one. That's a rough one. Yeah, there is a poll question, everybody. Your favorite show this past weekend. I did have Eve, NXT, Vengeance Day, SmackDown, and AEW Collision. I apologize for not including CMLL. I only have 4 options. I went with what I thought would be the 4 most voted on.
SmackDown.
I'm with you. I understand, but SmackDown is still SmackDown was the most watched show.
But I didn't.
It was the most watched show.
I didn't expect like I'm watching it, and I was just like, yeah, the show's kind of going to a slowdown. And then by the end of the show, I thought that the Cody and Drew matchup was actually a very good matchup, and watched the show, and I was like, that was kind of what SmackDown's been like. If you're doing it out of 10, it's like a 6 out of 10 show at best. That's what SmackDown's been over the last couple of weeks after they had like stellar shows to start off the year. The month of February, WWE just went into a very, we're not going to produce good television on either Raw or SmackDown for throughout that month. And then it's kind of just gotten SmackDown into this lull of being like a 5 to a 6 out of 10 type of show. But then I saw the feedback from online. I was just like, oh, you guys hated this show. Oh man. I did not expect that.
Yeah, I'll say this. The online feedback obviously always doesn't translate to what we see in the arenas. This is the Jey Uso argument, right? Because Jey Uso still super over. Like, still super over. Still, everyone wants to yeet and still gets a big pop and everything. Look, is there anything beyond that for us? No. Like, his wrestling is what it is he Dame? And his promos aren't even all that much there. And then the story stuff isn't all that much there. Like, we might be upset over the Cody win. We might not have any interest in Cody and Randy as a WrestleMania main event. Crowd still popped huge for Cody. Yeah, he's still over. He still gets good reactions. Now they're waning a little bit, and he is getting some boos when it comes to various things. And I think that the Orton stuff might get him some more boos, because I think Orton is much more beloved than Cody at this point. So I wouldn't put everything into the online reaction, much like with the Jey Uso stuff. I wouldn't put everything into that. I still think there was a way you could have done this 4-way match, and then at least you can make someone more out of it. As I said last week, of like Randy, Cody, Punk, Roman, they're all 40 plus, 45 plus. Roman, I don't think is quite 45. Maybe Cody isn't either. But yeah, at least get some new talent in there. Like, having Jacob in there would have been just, I think, better, set you up better for the future with things. But Randy's still popular. Cody's still popular with that audience. People are going to cheer for the match. People are going to be excited for the match. Like, the people are going and paying for this kind of stuff. They'll be excited for this stuff. There's still also the very truthful statement that interest is waning a bit compared to where it was. The perception is that the company is down, and I realize that is like an online perception type of thing, but the perception is the company is down. Tickets aren't moving quite as fast. Viewership's gone back up since the Nielsen stuff got corrected with everything, since they averaged all that out. But the Netflix viewership, which has never had any type of, oh, we're using this metric, now this metric, now this metric, that's been largely the same outside of kind of your bigger shows with, oh, we have an AJ Styles thing. Oh, we have like Roman is going to show up. Like if it's just a regular Raw, you're getting your 2.4 and you're moving on. So
yeah.
Like there are very real metrics that shows that the business isn't as hot as it was around this time last year. And there's also metrics, largely in arena reactions and merchandise, that shows, yeah, people like Cody are still doing fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought the Cody and Drew matchup was very good. And like you said, it got a great reaction from the fans in attendance seeing Cody. But I'm not also going to say that the online opinion or online discussion or online reaction is wrong. Because I think that it's just come down to a state of WWE does not seem very confident in their own ability to book and be creative at this point. And it's led to an overwhelming amount of fan apathy from everyone. It just feels like, and especially the decision to put the title back on Cody, it basically is a self-serving prophecy basically by WWE, because they put the title on Drew because they felt the road to WrestleMania, the WWE title scene had gotten too stale. It's gotten too predictable. So they wanted to do an unpredictable move. But by making this whole run where Drew wins the championship because he fell out of a cage, and it's mostly due to Jacob Fatu returning, then he says that, oh, he put in a clause in the contract that Cody can't get a rematch. So Cody has to go through the Royal Rumble and then the Elimination Chamber to get a title shot. Then after the Royal Rumble, the two top baby faces in the company spend a 20-minute promo with half of it telling us, don't respect the guy who has the WWE championship. We're going to completely cut his balls off because we've both beaten him into oblivion and he's not as big of a star and he's on the lesser show as well. And then he says a lame limp dick promo response where he's just like, raw SmackDown, I'm proud to be SmackDown, I'm proud that this title has had much bigger stars who have held this title. Okay, Drew, kind of weird. And then he beats the guy that he's beaten 11 times before that at the Royal Rumble. That's his one title defense. And then most weeks he just spends it running away from Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, two guys who also feel like much bigger stars than him. It's like you basically cut his dick off and then said he's not gonna go to WrestleMania with the WWE Championship anyway, and then you go right back to the predictable thing. The thing that everybody was complaining about 2 months ago was Cody Rhodes still being WWE champion, and now again he's the WWE champion, and then you're mad at the fact that you're giving what fans wanted, but you're giving them what they wanted 2 years ago. You're not giving them what they wanted right now. You're giving them what they wanted 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they wanted Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. To a lesser extent, last year, they wanted Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. At this point, they have dried the well. They basically planted those seeds so much to the point that the plant didn't even grow. It's already limp because you planted it. You've been watering it for so long, but the flowers are already done. It's freaking crumbling away, and people don't want to really see that all that much. But I'm not surprised by the fan reaction and the online reaction, honestly.
Well, you see, SB3, this is long-term storytelling because of the 3 million title glances they did with Randy and Cody 2 years ago. You know, he kept doing the side-eye glance there, and people were like, it's gonna happen. And finally, it is happening. It is finally happening that we're going to get that match. One thing I don't want to hear that I have heard, and I'm tired of hearing it, and that's why I'm going to call it out here, is the people who are like, and you know where this chatter comes from. People will be very quickly to point out, like, oh yeah, I know who Jeremy's talking about. I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm talking about a general fan base.
It's more than one person, because people will latch on to those type of things. But I think I know where you're going with this.
But the sentiment of like, yeah, listen to the arena reaction, and they don't care about the online fans. Like, it's such a small minority of fans, the online fans, that it doesn't really matter about them. They're not paying attention to them because the arena reaction is so good. And like I just said, yeah, the arena reactions are very good. They're still doing well with ticket sales. Like, maybe they're not moving as much, but they're still moving. They're still doing good with merch. People are still getting good reactions and everything. But let's not pretend like WWE is only paying attention to the in-arena fans, and they don't care at all about what the online reaction is, when every single show, literally every single show, 300 million online impressions. Hey, here's WWE Unreal, where we tell you all the behind the scenes stuff. Hey, here's our post show where we talk about the show and how great it was, and pat ourselves on the back for everything that we have done here. Here's this podcast and that podcast, and now here's the Undertaker's podcast. AJ Styles has a podcast, which I don't think is a WWE brand yet. Here's Logan Paul, the most viewed social star of all time. Look at his podcast. They 1,000% care about the online reaction to all of this stuff. Should they care more about the arena stuff and what's going on there? Yes, because that's your paying customers. Those are the ones in the arenas, and those are the ones making the noise, buying the merchandise, all of that stuff when it comes to that. But let's not pretend like this is some small minority of fans online that WWE, they don't care about it. They don't care about the cage match ratings. They don't care about the thumbs down on the videos. And look, maybe people are buying it and all of that stuff, and if that's the case, okay, fine. But they 1,000% care about this. If they didn't care about this, they would not hit you over the head every single show with go online and do this, and watch this, and check out this whole thing, and show you the 300 million impressions, the most liked video on our YouTube, the most liked post on our Twitter. They 1,000% care about that. And yeah, as Gray's kind of mentions, like, that was the whole We Won Cody stuff. How did that start?
That's the whole reason that we got Cody finishing his story, because go back and watch when Rock takes over for Cody, when Cody says, I'm going to take my title shot, but not at WrestleMania. And The Rock comes out, the roof goes off. The roof went off the building. It's The Rock coming back, and he's finally going to face Roman Reigns. The people in the building that night were cheering that. They weren't confused. They weren't upset. They weren't booing it out the building. No, they were cheering for The Rock versus Roman Reigns. But then the thumbs down happened. All the dislikes happened. The We Want Cody hashtag was created. That's what led to one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history. So if you are foolish enough to believe that, WWE doesn't listen to social media, they don't listen to the online community, you are bugging. You are bugging. They are chronically online. Triple H is chronically online. He hears everything that's happened. And that's why I said I'm not surprised by the online reaction to Cody winning the title back. I'm not surprised by the online reaction to people feeling like Drew got snubbed, because he did. He did. He did get snubbed. Like, what are we talking about? He's the victim in all of this. Yeah, Drew's gonna, and I know there's a certain fan base that's gonna be like, well, Drew's still happy. He's still getting his money. He's gonna be in a movie and stuff like that. But are you not telling me that Drew McIntyre, someone who cares about his work so much, isn't gonna be a little bit disappointed creatively that his world title reign was treated secondary, that he had his fellow peers on the roster calling him a lame duck champion, and that he proved to be a lame duck champion because he lost it back to the guy that he beat in a 3 stages of hell that should have been the end of their rivalry. But because WWE has no confidence and had no long-term plan for this WWE title run, and it's also the fact why people are reacting to Cody and Randy Orton in this way is because it is quite obvious this is not plan B, Jeremy. This isn't plan C. This is plan like D, maybe plan E at this point. Because it all started months ago when it was reported it was supposed to be Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Seth gets injured, and they got adjusted to, we're going to do Punk and Braun, and we're going to do Roman and Cody. That's why they did the whole angle at the end of Survivor Series where Roman and Punk are on the same page, Z-Bros, and then he's beefing with Cody Rhodes for no reason whatsoever. Then that still doesn't make any sense, and it makes lesser sense now, all these months later, of what was going on there. But it was all to set up what they wanted to do, Cody and Roman. But Cody and Roman couldn't get on the same page. Neither one of them wanted to lose to one another, so they changed it again. We're on to plan C at this point, and we're gonna do Roman and Punk, and we're gonna do Cody and Drew. But then everybody reacted to that report like no one wants to see Cody and Drew again at WrestleMania, so they pivoted to plan D. Oh, we're gonna do a multi-man matchup. We're gonna insert Jacob Fatu. We're gonna do a triple threat matchup. No one was that enthused with that report either. So obviously they're listening online because they adjusted again, because they spent all of January building up Cody, Jacob, and Drew. That seemed like that was going to be the direction. That's what they were going to go with at WrestleMania. But then they flipped it again. We're like, oh, we might do a multi-man matchup. There's going to be multiple people involved in this. We might throw in Randy. We might throw in Sammy. We might throw in a Aleister Black or a Trick Williams. Who knows? And then they went to plan E at this point, and they're like, oh, we're going to throw it up. Fans wanted at some point in time over the last 2-3 years, they wanted Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. We're going to give them to it now. We're going to do it now. So all of this creates a sense of fan apathy, because it just feels like predictable is not always bad, but when you basically go around in a circle trying to make things unpredictable just to go to a very predictable route of Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, when you could have gone about this in so many other different ways, it's just an issue. And this is why they have all this creative restructuring that's going on in WWE. Yes, it has to do with certain people having certain jobs and then that job getting changed and them being unhappy. Yes, it has to do with certain people needing to be promoted up. But I have never seen this much creative shuffling as far as the infrastructure, who's in creative and who's not in creative. I haven't seen this much shuffling with a big matchup for WrestleMania in years. It's been like several years since we've seen this much shuffling within WWE creatively. And it just feels that for the first time in the Triple H era, they have no confidence in their ability to book and be creative at this point.
They've also made no one hot on SmackDown, because everyone, since they had no idea who they were going to go with, they just kept everybody effectively on the same level, because Cody lost the title, lost the Rumble, lost the Elimination Chamber, and then won the title. Now, he did win the Elimination Chamber qualifying match in there, so by pinning Sami Zayn, who lost at the Royal Rumble and is just a perennial kind of loser. But with Sammy, he won the 4-way, but this is what, like, everything's just even when it comes to this stuff. No one's built this so much momentum. It's like, oh yeah, this is our guy right here. Jacob Joel and I mentioned this yesterday. Jacob hasn't won a singles match in like a year on, so he doesn't win any matches. Randy just lost to Aleister Black like 3 weeks ago. Yep. And then he wins the Chamber, but it's like, can you get that win back at the very least just to get you something here? Because he's losing to Aleister Black. He lost that 4-way as well, the 4-way that Sammy won. Mm-hmm. So he lost the Rumble too. And okay, yes, he won the Chamber qualifying match. He won the Chamber. That's good. But yeah, lost to Aleister Black. Like, that ain't exactly a great loss to be taken. I know they don't care. Wins and losses don't really matter in this company. Like, fine. But the point is, like, nobody's actually getting momentum because they are seen as losers. And it's like, oh, we just saw you get pinned. Like, you're not a guy we can fully rally behind because you're beatable. And, like, everyone is just beatable. And if you win in the most haphazardly interference bullshit kind of way to where you don't look all that good if you win. But they do that so you lose they do that kind of win so the loser, technically doesn't lose as much. But you do it so often that the loser is still a loser. And like no one actually builds momentum onto this kind of stuff. Look, say what you will about Cody and his rise and everything. Like, the reason Cody continued to stay over and get over is because they treated him as a guy who just wasn't going to lose unless it actually mattered. Why is Roman such a big deal? He doesn't lose unless it actually matters, and then they make it not matter by not doing anything with the people who beat him. But he doesn't lose unless it actually matters. I'll put Punk in there as well. Punk just doesn't lose random matches out here. This is I think a problem with Seth. Is Seth has been for so long a guy who can win sometimes, but then he just takes so many losses that it's like, oh yeah, we've seen you lose, and a lot of his wins are just kind of by cheating. And as a heel, it works. It's fine as a heel, but even the babyface stuff, when Seth is as high, is because he's beaten Brock, and that's when it's like, oh, we're behind Seth. He's beaten Brock out here. It's they've gotten nobody any momentum on SmackDown, and that's why people are just kind of apathetic towards a lot of SmackDown. And it's like, that's why they've had to pivot so much. It's because, we've done Drew and Cody so much. Oh, they've both kind of lost. Oh, we can't do a multi-man match because these guys have kind of all lost. Well, let's do Cody and Randy. This is kind of we've been long-term storytelling, but these guys have also just lost a lot. But we're getting Cody and Randy. That's the match, everybody.
And I hope this is like a lesson. One lesson they can learn from this is when the superstars, when the wrestlers are making suggestions or creative pushes, let's actually take it seriously. Let's actually say, you know what? Let's try that. Because all of this fan apathy, a lot of it would be not as big or not as big of a topic if they would have listened to Cody and Drew at WrestlePalooza. Because they wanted the title change then. If Drew has a 6-month title reign where he's able to maybe do that Sami Zayn matchup earlier and feud with someone else, maybe you would have went with Drew versus Cena trying to get number 18 against him before he retires, or maybe you do Drew versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at the end of last year, and then you eventually get back to Drew and Cody because Drew has screwed over Cody and stopped him from getting another title opportunity all this time, and then you don't do the 3 stages of hell at the beginning of the year. You do this matchup on the SmackDown after Elimination Chamber, after Drew had a 6-month title reign. There is no poor Drew at that point. So that's half of your fan reaction to this title change out the window, because Drew just got a 6-month run heading into WrestleMania, and now you're going with a matchup that there are a section of fans that do want to see, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. So listen to these wrestlers. These wrestlers have better ideas than the people in that room, because some of the people in that room ain't even there anymore.
The other kind of big takeaway from SmackDown, SB3 and I referenced it earlier. You got nice muscles.
I hope this teaches certain reporters. I won't name any names, but if you still think this was all a work, and I did understand the terminology that they used in their wording. It was like, well, for these people who think that this just didn't start off as a work, it definitely did, because they wouldn't do stuff like that. No one is saying that it didn't start off as a work. Everyone realized that it started off as a work, but you are not admitting that this turned into a shoot at the creative comment, and you are just not going to acknowledge that. You're just going to stand pat that it's all a work. You're being ridiculous. And Friday night proved that it turned into a shoot because they made no references whatsoever to anything they said online. They just said, you know what? That didn't happen. We're not even gonna make like a passing reference that, yeah, you had a lot to say online. What you got to say to me now? Like, at least something like that, where you don't have to reference what you said, but at least reference that it happened. They acted like it never happened. This is proof. It turned into a shoot. Reporter.
And this is where, again, there's that disconnect between TV audience and social audience. Because us online, we saw this and we're like, oh, okay. Oh, they're going to go face-to-face on Friday. Oh, can't wait for this. What are they going to say? How are they going to play this out? And then people in the arena who maybe was following the stuff online, they didn't lose out on anything. But people who were online were disappointed. And people who weren't online were probably still disappointed because the material just completely sucked.
Oh, man. It was so lame. It's like, so there's no personal issue here. There's no hatred. We're actually complimenting each other's muscles. That's what the crust of our first promo. This was like the antithesis of freaking the Roman and Punk first promo, where that got you all excited for that matchup. This one just made you, I'm not as excited as I once was.
This, man, I watched this and I was like, they can't be serious with this. They can't be. Fine. If it did, like we talked about, like maybe it turned into a work of, let's go back and forth. And then it clearly was not a work in there by the Petro. Yes. That's the greatest build of all time. Tiffany and Charlotte Flair.
It was a train wreck. Like for all that I said, and I was on here on this show saying that was a train wreck. Yeah. But I also said,
but I
wanted to watch the train wreck. Yes. Yeah, I wanted to watch the train wreck. I wanted to see what was going to happen next. I hated the sit down interview, but it made me more intrigued when they went face to face, and that was a train wreck as well. But at least it's memorable. At least we're talking about it. A year from now, we will not be talking about Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, that face-to-face promo exchange. We will more be talking about how great it was when they went online and it started really beefing with one another, and how lame that promo segment was.
They did this, and at the end of it, and I'm like, that's it? That was what you have? It's like I was saying, like, if you don't want to reference the online stuff, I do agree with you. Like, you should probably make like some type of passing reference just to, because that's what we were all tuning in for, right? Like, we were tuning, how's this going to go after everything we saw online? They didn't make a passing reference. And then this was your best material? Like, fine. If you, like, I don't see the point in bringing up creative of like, you spend all your time talking to creative. Like, all right. Like I was saying, like, that's beast to me. You should be talking to creative. You should be keeping your spots and everything. That doesn't mean anything to me, but there's just ways to at least do that. Like, even again, passing stuff is like, mommy's always on top. Why don't you explain to these people why you're always on top? And then put that on her. Look, maybe that's a little too much, and Rhea's got to come up with something to kind of combat that. But then just come back and like, because I can actually wrestle, because I'm the best, because this crowd actually makes noise for me. What have you done since you've been here? You come out here, you stand there, You say a couple of words, you stand there, and then you walk to the back. Like, that is why you are not on top. That is why I don't want to say needed me to win the Elimination Chamber, but that is why I had to win the Elimination Chamber, to make people care about you. Something like that. Like, can we get anything halfway decent? I came up with this in 2 seconds. Everybody.
That was much better than anything they had to say. I do not care about how big. I can see that when they take off their jacket, when they show off their bodies in the ring, when they're wearing their gear. I can see they have muscles. I don't care about a promo. A what was it? 6-7 minute promo with them just compliment. Yeah, it felt longer than that, but it's just like,
You know what pissed me off the most about this, besides like the material being bad and everything? When Jade did that mic drop, I was like,
what did you say to deserve a mic drop?
I was like, pick the fucking mic. Oh, sorry, I broke my rule. Pick the mic back up and just hand it to somebody.
Yeah, and then them having to do 2 different handshakes during the You know that was a Triple H directive. It wasn't directly from Triple H. It was probably Triple H to Chris Parks saying, "You tell them that they better shake each other's hands out there, and I want to see it more than once. I want to know that they're working on the same page here. We got to have them do 2 handshakes during this segment."
The mic drop upset me so much. I was like, no. How are you dropping the mic after that? It's not a mic drop moment. Hey, you got really nice muscles, but mine are better. On that B, mic drop. No. Calm down here, Machine Gun Kelly, with your Stan letter to Rhea Ripley. Stop it. Anything else from SmackDown? The rest of the show existed.
Yeah, like even like stuff like that usually hits on SmackDown just wasn't hitting as much. I don't like them making Trick Williams into heel dweeb number 17, who just comes out, says a bunch of words just to get RKO'd out of nowhere. I think there's better usage for Trick Williams, and Trick Williams should come off a little bit cooler than that. Even like stuff like the Carmelo Hayes Open Challenge, I didn't think that match with Wagner 3 was that good at all.
No.
Like I've seen better from Wagner 3, and I've seen better from Carmelo, so that was kind of lackluster, forgettable. Tag team turmoil, man, it just made me sad. Did anybody else get sad watching tag team turmoil? Like, literally, it got me sad from the beginning, Jeremy, because the first music I hear is the Motor City Machine Guns, and I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot that's the Machine Guns theme song. Because I haven't seen them on this show in that long. And I watched Triple I, and I saw them on Triple I, yeah, but I haven't seen them on this show. That I was very confused. I was like, whose music is this? Raise your fist. Boom, boom. I was like, oh, this is a lame Motor City Machine Guns music. Oh, okay. And then I was just like, then they do Fraxium and Motor City Machine Guns, and just when it's going good, we get this weak finish that is like, whoa, he's gonna get his foot on the rope, but the referee's not gonna see it, and they're gonna push it off, and that was weird. Okay. Then if you get Los Garza coming out next, I'm like, okay, Los Garza and Fraxium, they've had great matches in the past. That ends in 2 minutes. Then it's the YS6. You get the MFTs coming out, interfering. They're eliminated. And then the one team that has never teamed before on SmackDown wins tag team turmoil. I was like, that is the state of the SmackDown tag team division. Literally, this time last year, Jeremy, the SmackDown tag team division was my favorite part of SmackDown. And now we get this. We get R-Truth and Damian Priest going up against the MFTs. Yeah. That's what I want to see. Sure.
I don't hate Priest and Truth being this team and going after the titles. And the only reason I say that is because they clearly don't like care about teams like Fraxium and Motor City Machine Guns and stuff. At least with Priest and Truth, they will put a bit of care into it, and they will give Priest and Truth some segments, and they will give them some time to try to get stuff over. That's where I'm at with the division. I wish they would put more effort into the tag teams like they did last year and like they did when they were going into SummerSlam and everything, but they're not going to. So if they're not going to, I will take, and this is a very bad like outlook on things. I do not think people should have this outlook. I do not think this is a good outlook. But this is where I'm at when it comes to these things is, hey, at least they'll get time because they like Truth and Priest as singles guys, right? So at least we get some type of tag team time with that. Because if the titles were just on Motor City Machine Guns, they wouldn't be on the show. Like the titles would not be on the show at all. Like they were barely on the show after SummerSlam when the Wyatt Six had them until they started doing stuff with MFT, which has now gone on for like 3 years, I feel like. But yeah, at least with Priest and Truth, well, they'll get on the show. They'll get time. They'll get some feuds. They'll win most of them. But that's where I'm at with the division is whatever gets the stuff on the show, I'm okay with. Because otherwise, I know it's not going to be on the show. But I understand the more true complaint of why are we doing a makeshift tag team winning this thing and probably winning the titles when we have some really good tag teams in the division. I get that. But they don't care about that. They've proven they don't care about that. So let me just enjoy the fact that it's going to get on the show. That's where I'm at. Getting terrible outlook to have. I don't begrudge anybody. It is. It's a defeatist mindset. It truly is. It's a thank you for serving me this pile of you know what. I did my one. I feel like I'm allowed one, right? Thank you for serving me this. I appreciate that. I'm at least getting served anything, you know? Thank you for allowing me to eat this. It's not good, but thank you for allowing me to eat this. Yeah.
Appreciate you allowing me. That's the kind of the defeatist attitude that most Julia fans have at this point.
Oh yeah, poor thing. Poor
like
thing.
we're really pushing Kiana James over Julia.
Well,
like I like Kiana James, but come on, man. Come on, man. And then you got all these old heads on social media who just have the same mindset of the old heads in the creative room, and it's just like, y'all don't realize that Julia does have charisma, that she does have aura, that you basically signed her because she had those things.
Right. Then, we saw her debut in NXT. That was a full-on aura entrance. That was it.
You totally ripped all of that away to make her the pin woman of a women's tag team that has Kiana James, who this time 2 years ago was involved in an angle where she was going out with a virgin on NXT.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Irresistible Forces celebration. Sure. That was a thing. It got interrupted. It led to the tag team match we just talked about.
Charlotte and Alexa are getting a shot.
Yeah. Okay. Oba and squashed Gargano. All right. That's fine.
Yeah. Johnny Gargano. I don't really feel bad on that one. I don't have. I mean, if you're still if you still got Johnny Gargano stocks in the year of our Lord 2026, and he doesn't seem like he's leaving anytime soon, God bless you.
You're holding on to those things because one, they're at an all-time low, so you're not going to recoup any value, and you're just praying that he goes to AEW or NXT. Honestly, he goes to AEW and you can get some of that value back because it ain't worth selling at this point. You can't make anything off of them. Like, this is the point to buy Gargano stocks and just hope that, because I don't know if they're getting any lower than they are right now. But if you have them, they're done for. They're done for. NXT Vengeance Day was another show that happened on Saturday. Just shows. They just did some shows this week, SP3.
I love doing shows with Alex Pulowski. Pulowski just makes me realize, like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not alone with how because he reviews NXT every week.
That poor guy.
I tell him that. I'll be like, I can't believe you actually spend your time talking about this show every week. I'm fine doing it like every once in a while when Kate's on vacation. I was happy to fill in for her for the post show. And I said on the post show, I'll say it here. The first 3 matches, I was actually like, this might be my favorite WWE PLE of the year, because it was the first 3 matches. They were done after like an hour and 10 minutes. I was like, man, we're gonna be done with this show in 2 hours. I was like, man, we're off to an all-time high. And then they just we're going to do a 10-minute promo to get to the most predictable route possible of a triple threat matchup for the NXT Women's Championship. We're going to do the NXT Underground, which is a cool gimmick to do, but we're going to spend it with the person with the broken hand getting their hand worked over just for them to win with the broken hand. And then we're going to do the final match of the night, where we are going to have the worst match of the night at the same time, which has the heel looking like an idiot because they can't beat their opponent with the low blow and a finishing move, only for the babyface to win with a low blow and their finishing move. So nobody looks good. Nobody looks good coming out of this. And then in between all of that, we're going to do 10 to 15 minute commercials and vignettes and video packages that we've already seen. They double dipped on stuff like showing us the Tatum Paxley vignette, then showing Easy Dame watching the Tatum Paxley vignette, a segment that we saw 2 weeks ago, then did a video package after that for the match. Oh, I was like, yeah, this. Why does WWE do this on all 3 brands? All 3 brands just taking us to an absolute lull on like slowing down the pace. These are like. These are the worst paced major events it might be in world wrestling, not just WWE history, but wrestling history. Like they terribly pace all their events. Doesn't matter what brand it is.
Yeah, because it's 4 matches on the main roster, 5 in NXT, and you're putting that into 2.5 to 3 hour show. And obviously the matches are not half an hour each, so there's just so much downtime with entrances and video packages and backstage segments and whatever they're going to do that it kills the vibe of some of this stuff. And this one certainly didn't help that they announced the venue like 2 weeks before, and it was just at the Performance Center where, all right, we see these people every single week. You know you're going to get reactions out of the Performance Center crowd, so there's at least that. But it just had the feeling of like, I'm just watching a Tuesday NXT show with matches that have a little bit of higher stakes. This does not feel like a PLE event. This does not feel like a major event because it's in the same arena that it's always in, with the same people, with the same crowd reactions and everything. And look, it didn't help that most of the matches were just, they existed. Like you said, the first 3, I didn't mind the first 3.
Yeah.
Blake and Jada was maybe as good as you're going to get for a women's street fight in WWE. You know, yeah. They're never going to allow them to do what we saw with Blake and Tony last year. You're not going to get that in WWE. I mean, Tiffany and Becky might be the closest to them allowing them to do stuff like that when they had their street fight. But that's the bar in WWE. So they did as much as they could with the parameters of the company that they are in. Tony D'Angelo and Deion Lennox, kind of same thing. You're gonna get
that kind of over delivered for me. I'm not going to front.
fair.
I actually went in with the low expectations for that, and I thought that they did the whole parking lot fight very well. You could tell it was shot like the night before, or at least earlier on in the late, probably the night before, and they did well to kind of produce that whole segment of the matchup, and then how it segued into this very like high energy brawl between the two men. I think that definitely was probably the second best match of the night was Tony D and Dion Lennox, because that over delivered. I agree with you with Jada and Blake. That whole finish was just stupid. The fake diamonds, using the fake diamonds like it's freaking powder, and then using it as thumbtacks at the same time. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like,
the diamonds poked her in the eye.
Stupid zirconia, man. It's not even. There wasn't no shimmer on that stuff. Like, it was just a lame finish. I thought the stuff with like the kendo stick and the chair and the kendo sticks being lodged in the ropes, that was like cool stuff. But it was just fine. It was just a fine matchup. Good match. 3 stars, 3.25 at best. That they like I said, I thought Tony D and Dion Lennox, they overachieved, and that wasn't even a stipulation. It was they just beat the crap out of each other, and then Tony D getting his ponytail untied, having the wild hair, looking like Bruiser Brody, and then the superplex through the announce table, then him with the great looking spear, and then hitting him with the bada bing for the win. That was some good stuff. And I thought the best match of the night was Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dane. They had a really good matchup. We had probably the best of Izzy or Tatum's career, because Tatum Paxley, she's such a good underdog baby face. She's so good. Like, I wasn't as big of a fan as like Alex and Kate are of Tatum Paxley, but I saw it here. I was like, she's got something, and that crowd popped huge. That was the most invested that the crowd was the whole night.
Yeah. Then they love Tatum Paxley, and so them doing the victory here like probably made it a bigger deal. I don't know how that comes off in an arena, but we know the Orlando crowd loves Tatum Paxley. Yeah, that was, I think, easily the best match of the night. Like, I like the first 2 matches, but this was much better than that. The underground stuff, like, they don't do it well. They don't. They never have. It doesn't help. Like, I know Lola has MMA experience, and that's where, like, sometimes it's tough to suspend disbelief on that. Is like, Kalani has a great athletic background. I won't get into the whole our wrestlers, athletes argument that was all over my timeline this weekend. But like, Kalani has a very good athletic gymnast background, I believe. So we know she's an athlete, but like, if she actually fought Lola Vice, she'd probably get knocked out in like 30 seconds. So they have to do like this fake worked shoot match, and like WWE just they don't do it well. Like, you watch Bloodsport, they do it very well. They couldn't do this with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, 2 legitimate professional MMA fighters, because they're like, you're so restricted in this stuff you're allowed to do in WWE that it never comes off well. So they're definitely not going to do it well when one of them has no MMA experience, has no grappling experience and stuff. So you have to like mix in the theatrics of it, but then it comes off just kind of lame when you do stuff like that. Like, they don't know how to do this. I don't remember like an actual like good underground match. Your memory is better than mine. Has there been one?
A good underground matchup? Yeah. I think Eddie Thorpe had one with Donovan Dijak. That was really good. Okay. Lola's had good ones with like Natty, and then the one with Shayna. Those were good, but this one was not, because they made the whole focus be, okay, Kalani's gonna work over her hand in this matchup. And then she won with the same hand with a spinning back fist. That made no sense. Whatsoever. Like, it's like you have just basically undermined this entire matchup. and she couldn't do the spinning back fist with the other hand.
Kalani's got a weak jaw. Clearly, some fighters just they got a weak jaw. They get knocked out. Kalani has no chin. Just, even with a broken hand, still knocked her out.
Best part of the matchup was Lola's dad going into business for himself and taking off his jacket like he was going to do something. That was the best part.
And then the main event.
Worst match on the show. I'll be honest. Like I saw shout outs to Zach Haydorn of Sports Illustrated. He was like, fun matchup. And I was just like, meh. That's how I felt about that matchup. I was just like, it happened. It was here. He was like, yeah, I think it was a little bit better than meh. I was like, okay, I'll give it some more amped descriptions. Mundane, paint by numbers, average. Like I really feel like NXT has like it seems like a lot of times they like break down these wrestlers to the point that they're just boring. Like how they've portrayed Joe Hendry as this fighting babyface he has none of the charm that he used to have.
This is where like I was taken out of this match so quickly because they try to make Joe Hendry, like you mentioned, like a fighting babyface. Like, oh, this is serious, Joe Hendry, and Ricky is selling like, oh, my strikes aren't hurting him. Oh, he's like hitting me back. I'm not expecting this. I thought I was gonna get like jokey Joe out here, and then Hendry's offense just nothing about it says like fired up serious babyface. Like it just does not look good enough for me to be like, oh yeah, this is a different kind of Joe. Like it's the same every single like. There's nothing different from fired up Joe Hendry babyface to regular Joe Hendry babyface. I'm not saying like he's bad or anything. I think he's perfectly fine, but you can't sell me on like, oh, this is a different Joe Hendry. This is a serious Joe Hendry when nothing actually changes from his performances. Like it's the same thing. And then you got, of course, the stuff of here's Ethan Page and here's, like you said, low blow finish, kick out, low blow finish, no kick out type of thing. It's like, oh, okay, sure. Okay. But
that kind of happened. Ethan Page doesn't know how to pass in a title to someone who's right in front of him. Why are you sliding in the title when he's literally right in front of you? You could have just placed it on the apron and he could have grabbed it. Like, it's just like, it's like you purpose. It's like NXT. You have to like turn off your brain to not have any type of critical thinking to enjoy it. So I'm not surprised at who called this match a fun match. So anyway, it's just like, it's like, this is not fun. This is not fun to watch. No one looked good coming out of this matchup.
Yeah, that was NXT Vengeance Day. Everybody, a show of shows. Not the show of shows, just a show of shows. We had AEW Collision as well over the weekend. A lot of wrestling talk here today, folks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry how much wrestling talk we have had.
I can't. I won't brag about my Lakers winning against the Knicks until tomorrow.
That was a good game. Yeah, I watched that one. All right.
I saw some Knicks fans were angry.
Well,
angry online. I love
to see it. They're always going to be angry. Yeah, we'll talk more basketball tomorrow because Raw, I don't know. The lineup is looking how it's looking right now. Collision had some really strong matches. We kicked off with FTR defeating the Rascals. We also had the tag team match between Lena Cross and Megan Bayne, which we referenced earlier when we were talking about Mina and Tony, and then the main event with Takeshita and Claudio. Nothing is as good as those three matches were. I didn't like any of them more than Mercedes Persephone or even Shuri and Windsor. I don't know about you, but
I think Takeshita and Claudio was on the level of Persephone and Mercedes. Yeah, right. that was a tremendous matchup. I watched that on my way to the Eve show, and I was popping on the train ride. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I was the arm work is what got me. Like the sell by Takeshita, especially when he does the Blue Thunder Bomb and he's got the pin and he's still holding his arm up like this. I was like, that's a professional. Anyone who tries to sleep on Takeshita or tell me Takeshita is cold, I'm gonna laugh in your face. This man knows what the hell he's doing in the ring. And Claudio was on his A game. Claudio's been on his A game over the last couple of weeks. Like the Josh Alexander matchup was great. He had a good matchup over in Arena Mexico defending the CMLL or heavyweight championship. And then here he was just on point with his with the European uppercuts to the arm, working over the arm, the different arm submissions when he did like a STF into bending back the arm. That was really well done. Moxley was great on commentary, and him on commentary combined with this matchup got me more excited for Takeshita and Moxley at Revolution than I was coming in. So it checked all the boxes as great build for Takeshita and Moxley, a great matchup within itself, and then the ending was great to build up a tag team matchup for Dynamite with everybody brawling with Takeshita. I love Takeshita with the little babyface moment when Hechicero attacked Moxley and he's like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's like this, and you can tell the crowd is ready to start cheering for Takeshita. They're always behind Takeshita, whether he's in Japan, whether he's in America, they always are behind Takeshita in a big time way. And they were behind him in this matchup, him having the little babyface moment with Hechicero and then it leading to a brawl with the Death Riders was really well done to set up the matchup for Wednesday tag team match. And Wednesday's lineup is absolutely really stacked. Good. Yeah, it's stacked. And I thought FTR and Rascals was a great matchup as well. I thought there was two great matchups, a bunch of really good and good matchups on the show, and then a notable angle as well. I thought this was very much Collision getting out of its SmackDown 2015 stage and more becoming SmackDown in the year 2000, 2001. Only old heads like me and Jeremy will understand that reference, where SmackDown was a companion piece to Monday Night Raw, which was the main programming. That's what Collision has been over the last month and a half or so.
Yeah, I liked these matches. Maybe I'm not gonna walk back. I don't think it was as good to me as those. I also don't think it was as good as their first match. And maybe I'm being harsher on this one because I really loved their first match so much.
In 2022?
No, Claudio and Takeshita.
Yeah, their first match was in 2022.
No, okay, sorry. Their Continental Classic match. Sorry, their Continental Classic match. Yeah.
That was great. That was a great matchup too.
Yeah, so maybe I'm being harsher because I'm kind of comparing it to that a little bit more. I still liked, again, Shuri and Windsor and Persephone and Mercedes better than this match, but as I always try to qualify, this does not mean it's a bad match, okay? Don't people yell at me. They're like, oh, how could you not enjoy that? Like, just because I had two matches better than it, just because I had two matches rated at a 9.8 doesn't mean I didn't love the 9.6 match, okay? Jesus.
Remember, you gotta understand what Jeremy's saying, because then he'll give you a star rating, and it's usually always 5 stars.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. People always yell at me over that because you're so good at like breaking this stuff down, and I give a general overview of things and then kind of assign a compliment or non-compliment to it. So yeah, people get mad at me about that. It's like so I got to clarify these things. You mentioned
I will say because we got into a little beef last week about Andrade and Ishii.
Oh yeah,
and I think I rated that matchup like 4 1/4, and then I saw Dave gave it like 4.5. I did not like it as much as Dave, so that's fair. So I was in the middle of you and Dave.
You mentioned Tommaso Ciampa turn on Mark Briscoe as well, and that came after FTR had defeated the Rascals, and okay, so I'm gonna try to. It came after a lot of things actually.
Yeah.
FTR defeated the Rascals, and then as they are leaving, they pass Mark Briscoe and they give him, dap him up and everything because there's still respect there, even though they're heels. And then Briscoe joins for commentary for Garcia and Ciampa. Garcia defeats Ciampa. And then because there's the distraction stuff with Briscoe, and so afterwards, Ciampa's heated. Briscoe's like, calm down. You need to, check yourself and everything. He's trying to leave and stuff. Here comes FTR to confront Ciampa. Briscoe comes back in to try to cooler heads prevail type of thing. Ciampa and Briscoe leave, and I'm like, oh, they're doing the Gargano turn. They're gonna do the Gargano throw him into the video wall turn here, and that's exactly.
As soon as he started like hugging him and stuff, I'm like, oh man, it's at the top of the ramp. It's over. It's over.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. So Ciampa turn, going full blown heel. He's gonna team with FTR against Briscoe and the Bucks on Wednesday, which I'm sure is gonna be absolutely epic. But yeah, I'm cool with Ciampa going full heel and doing this, because if you're gonna be Psycho Killer, like he immediately mentioned that he was going to be, babyface Psycho Killer sounds weird to me. I don't know how you're doing a babyface Psycho Killer style type of thing. Like, your nickname is Psycho Killer. You should probably be a heel.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I thought it was a wise decision as well, because you kind of done everything. It feels like a speed run through Ciampa so far, where you gave him the title in his first matchup. He lost it less than 2 weeks later. Then he still wants the TNT championship. Had that little interaction with FTR that a lot of people thought was like too early, but it really was kind of like a setup. It was a setup that FTR was basically leading him down the path of turning heel, and he turned on Mark Briscoe here. He had a good matchup too with Danny Garcia as well, so I think that this makes him much more interesting of a character, because babyface Ciampa, you're only going to go so far. The heel Ciampa is where the money is at. That's where like he said, he's not here to have the great matches. Like he said, he's here to be a top guy. How Ciampa becomes a top guy? Being a heel. It's always being a heel. Ciampa is always at his best being a heel, and he cut fantastic promo on social media. Him cutting the promo in his trunks in his car at a Petco station. Oh, give me that all day. Give me that all day.
You talked about speed running Ciampa's whole thing. Just wait until Gargano shows up in a couple of weeks, and he's like, "Tom, you've lost your way. What is this? What is this Psycho Killer? Come on, man. We got to be DIY again." I'm not really going to speed run this whole
thing. Then it's gonna be right back to being a babyface.
What'd you make of the Thekla promo? Because there's been some mixed reaction to this whole thing. What did you think of it?
I only saw the misreaction on Sunday, because I put out right when I saw the promo. I retweeted the promo, and I loved it. I just love the fact that Thekla has gone from just good addition for the women's division. She'll fill some holes. She'll have a certain spot, but she won't go that far. To, in my opinion, she feels like the best TV character not named Timeless Toni Storm in the women's division. Like, she just has this air of confidence, this cockiness to a certain extent, and just the way that she talks is very unique to her. Her going from who says that the challenger should make the matchup, and then just, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, no, actually, I was like, she's insane. She's out of her mind. She's toxic. I don't understand why people don't get that. Like, people say, oh, she switched up too fast. I was like, no. And she played off the crowd, and the crowd was trying to give her what chance, and she played off of that very well and turned that around.
So I appreciate how she turned around the what chance. She kind of invited the what chance with you know what, and like you're gonna open yourself up for that. They're gonna chant what off of that. I actually don't think this was the crowd like being disrespectful to the promo of chanting what during it. I think it was the crowd kind of playing into the promo, because she said, hey, you know what, and then she was going And then so they chanted what? And she did a good job of like, yeah, leaning into them, playing off of them, and turning it around off of that. I could have lived with a few less no's at the very beginning. It felt like it was just no, 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 no. And that was going on for 5 minutes. I was like, can you start what you're actually trying to say here? I liked it. I liked the unhinged nature of it. I was like, okay, yeah, it's Thekla. She is kind of unhinged. The fact that I thought it was very funny where she was like, no, we're not doing this match. We're not doing it. And I'm like, it's already been announced. They literally put the graphic up during the middle of her promo.
Like, they reaffirmed that this is definitely happening.
Yeah.
Protest.
And that's where I was confused. I'm like, all right, you're not going to do it, but it's already announced and everything. Like what? And then she's like, you know what? Fine. I'll just beat you twice. You can't beat me 2 times. What makes you think you can beat me 2 times? Like, yeah, that fits with her.
Yeah, it fits Thekla. And just the first line when she's like, "Who says that I should listen to a bitch from outer space?"
Yeah. Like she has great energy. She has great cadence, great delivery. Like I had no problem with it. Again, one too many no's at the very beginning because I was like, can you just go and start going with what you are going to say here? It's much better than, like, I love Chris Statlander. She's one of the best in-ring wrestlers in AEW, but those monotone promos were doing nothing for anybody. Like, even if Thekla's material, maybe you have criticisms of the material because it's like, okay, why is she switching up like that? Why is she inviting the what chance? Oh, she has to curse to get stuff over. Whatever, like, your nitpick of as her material. Like, at least she's got some energy and some passion in the promo to where you can overcome some of the material when you have that. So I did appreciate that from her.
Yeah.
We are not... Yeah, we are not talking about that hook segment. I don't know what they...
Freaking Sat said it right though. Sat on social media. I don't know if you saw his post where they retweeted this, and he was like, "Sometimes being an all-time great doesn't mean that your son will be that." He was like, David Sammartino, David Flair, David Hook.
Oh, that's mean. That's mean. That was so rough. Oof, that was so rough. All right, speaking of speed run, we got to speed run a couple of things here. What was your moment of the weekend, SP3?
Just Eve Wrestle Queendom. Eve Wrestle Queendom had to be my moment of the weekend. Being there live, experiencing the crowd, how invested they were into everything, being at a live indie show that felt like an historic event as well, and a celebration of women's wrestling. And if I had to note one moment from the show, I would probably give the tie to Charlie making her return and really showing out in her comeback to pro wrestling, and also Session Martina winning the Eve Women's Championship. That was a lot of fun to end the show and felt like an emotional moment.
I'm going to go with Mercedes Moné. I did not see her the match, the Bestia match, where she lost the championship, but she did lose that title. Of course, she lost the CMLL title to Persephone in an absolutely fantastic match. For anyone doubting that Mercedes, and I was one who was like, all right, she's going to lose these titles, but is she going to take losses in these matches? Nope. She's going in here and she's taking one-on-one losses to the people she is losing the titles to. She's popping the number in the territory because I don't think Bestia has ever done those kind of numbers. She's selling out in Canada when she's coming there. And Arena Mexico's been selling out all the time, but the atmosphere for that match, she certainly enhanced everything when it came to that. So Mercedes Moné back in the ring, bless her. She's the best, right? Like, she's, as far as complete female performer, certainly in America, you ain't touching Mercedes Moné. So shout out to Mercedes.
She also helped me win my fantasy draft on True Hill Heat on Saturday as well. So thank you, Mercedes. Okay. We did a current women's wrestlers fantasy draft for International Women's Weekend, And I actually beat Chrissy Love, who whooped my behind the week before in an all-time Black wrestlers fantasy draft. So got my revenge.
A couple super chats. Ryan, SP3 Xeno hours better than what WWE's NXT is booking. Fairs. Honestly, fairs.
I'm doing all the work here. Yeah. What is this? A one-sided view, if anything.
Becca likes a trash talk during her matches too. I respect it. I respect that. Real quickly, Raw preview. Obafemi and Rusev, sure. Intercontinental title. Wins. Yeah. Intercontinental title, Penta and OG El Grande Americano. I feel like I've seen them wrestle a million times. It might not be. It just feels like it.
Hey,
sure.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Gable and Penta before, but we've never seen original El Grande and Penta before.
I feel like this is
going to be a good match. No.
Penta has feuded with two people. Pick a version of El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio. That's been his entire WWE run.
Yep. And he faced them back-to-back weeks here. I think Penta retains, but it's probably done by no contest with the Los Americanos interfering.
Just beat them. And women's Intercontinental title gauntlet match. Io Sky, Bayley, Lyra, Ivy Nile, Asuka, and Raquel Rodriguez. Natalya wins. I'm sticking with my Natalya prediction.
I'm going to go with Asuka to win. I think Asuka
and AJ.
Because they did that little tease with AJ trying to help Kyrie last week. So I think they do Asuka and AJ next week, and maybe we get Kyrie standing up for herself, and we get Kyrie versus Asuka at WrestleMania. They want to do 6 women's matches. They got to stretch out some of this stuff.
That feels like WrestleMania 2 years from now. So they're like, hey, remember that Asuka and Kyrie storyline? Long-term storytelling. That's what that feels like right there. This isn't a big Raw when we have no Roman and no Brock. Like, they announced their schedules and they're like, yeah, neither of them are going to be on this show. It feels like a miss, by the way, to not have Roman after how last week ended. Like, you're telling me he's not going to show up here to whoop up on CM Punk after last week? He's just going to sit at home?
So Roman's on next week?
Yeah, I think Roman's on next week, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're just going to hear from Punk, and Punk's going to have to explain why he brought dead fathers into it. That sounds awkward as hell.
I'm not saying this is like a good idea, but it feels like they got to explain this in some way. I wouldn't hate if Adam Pearce was like, Roman, I had to keep Roman away this week. Like, he wants to rip your head off. And, Punk can fire back of like, good, that's what I want out of him. No, tell him to show up. Come on, let's fight now. But like, it feels like you gotta give some explanation as to why Roman isn't there after last week. And I know that it's because his schedule was already announced, so sure, but you got to have some explanation, because him not showing up, little weird after last week. Like, last week specifically, if they just did a normal promo and whatever, like, okay, fine, he's not there. But you end with that line, and then Roman just stands in the ring and doesn't show up the next week to murder you. Roman looks a little weak on that.
I definitely agree with you there. And they have to figure out some way to make Liv and Stephanie Vicaire actually into something, because it just feels like that's stalled. Just the way that they set up the matchup with that not so good segment 2 weeks ago, and then they followed it up with a vignette that people talked about for like one day and then totally forgot that it happened on the shows. They have to do something in the ring in front of the fans to build it up, but it's already off to a very awkward start due to that Spanish promo that Stephanie did, then the disconnect from that segment to her picking her segment. And they have to do something to make that feel hot.
Yeah. Results of our poll question: what event did you enjoy the most this weekend? Favorite show from this past weekend is how I actually phrased it. It should come as no surprise. SmackDown, 5%, Vengeance Day, 19%, Wrestle Queendom, 31%, and Collision, 45%.
I'm not surprised by this chat
AEW bias
being hashtag all elite, but man, y'all got it wrong. Eve Wrestle Queendom should have won.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the full Wrestle Queendom show, but again, I think those Claudio and Take were even to me with Dakota and Stat, but I thought again Windsor and Shuri was the best match of the. I'll lean Mercedes and Persephone as my actual favorite match this weekend. But between Collision and Eve, I like Shuri and Windsor the best. What did we accomplish today, SP3?
We accomplished a lot. We got to talk about my live perspective being at Eve, the Wrestle Queendom, one of my favorite shows that I've been to in quite some time. Got to talk about my experience going to the after party, because after the show is the hotel lobby. I was around a whole bunch of British people who didn't understand my reference when I said
wow.
So yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I was disappointed in Sat. I thought he was going to join with me, and he just left me hanging. Shout out to Sat. He's awesome. He's awesome. But yeah, talked about the Eve Wrestle Queendom show. We talked about all the big shows from this weekend, the fan apathy that is going on within WWE with their decision to go back to the most predictable WWE champion that fans could have told you 6 months ago was going to be WWE champion going into WrestleMania, and a match that they wanted 2 years ago happening now, and why they're not excited about that, and just overall fans and the difference between fans calling other fans fickle. I like that conversation. That was a good one. We also talked about how Jeremy has nice muscles in his face, but I have muscles that is more for fight and survival. He has muscles for show, similar to a promo that we heard this week that also did not make much sense either. And we talked about NXT Vengeance Day and how it was off to a good start and then dragged out a little bit too long. And we talked about AEW Collision, which has become a companion piece to Dynamite, unlike it was throughout 2025. It's been much better in 2026. So yeah, it was a good, fun show where we talked all about wrestling, and you should not expect that for tomorrow.
No, absolutely not. Biggest thing we accomplished today, the doc is in, and all we talked about was wrestling today. And that is why the doc is in, because it is time for my checkup to make sure I'm okay, because there's way too much wrestling talk on today's show. So I'm going to go get checked out by the Doc McStuffins and everybody.
And congrats to ITW legend Blake Christian, who finally got his graphic. Shouts out to him. Awesome 4-way for the $200,000 private party one. And shouts out to the Dogs, who had a great debut as well. Probably the best I've seen from Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors since coming to AEW.
They just tossed those dudes.
Just beat the crap out of him. I was like, David Finley took about like 10 steps and hit 2 moves. Perfect.
Yeah, it was great. Let them know where they can find you at SP3.
You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live in about 2 hours, about 2:05 p.m. Eastern time. I'm doing a solo review of NXT Vengeance Day because I like pain, apparently. I have to talk about this show 3 times. But yes, I will be talking about it, breaking it all down, what went down at NXT Vengeance Day. Wednesday on the channel, I'm going to probably pre-record it, but I'll do the NXT review live, but I'll pre-record. It's going to drop on Wednesday. I'm going to do a full review of Eve Wrestle Queendom. I'm also going to try to watch it on the TV as well. I'm going to get my Eve subscription. I'm going to watch the Friday show as well. So I'll give you a full review of the highlights from the Friday show and my live perspective for Eve, more in depth than what we went into today. That's going to be on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. And of course, I'll be back here tomorrow joining you all, and I'll give y'all the same teaser I gave on the Fightful post show for Vengeance Day. I have a huge interview coming up this week with someone that we talked about today.
Oh, all right. Looking forward to that. Everybody, appreciate y'all. I have nothing to plug outside of roundtable.io/NBA. Click join, click sign up, help me get extra money. We will be back tomorrow, myself and SP3, reviewing whatever there is to review about Raw. Expect far less wrestling talk tomorrow. far more basketball talk and all that fun stuff. Everyone take care. Enjoy your Monday. We'll talk to y'all later on.